Hey beauties! So I got a brand new video for you all today, and I'm going to be creating this look step by step using all Latina owned products in honor of Hispanic Heritage Month, Latino Heritage Month. So follow along, get comfortable, because we're going to go going through step by step using all different brands that are Latina owned. Alright beauties, so we're going to be doing a step by step little tutorial of a look using all Latina owned products for Hispanic Heritage Month / Latino Heritage Month. So I'm going to be starting things off by using a nice little base from Rare Beauty. So it is the Always an Optimist Pore Diffusing Primer. Here's the box. Hopefully the light doesn't, there we go, there's the front of the box. And it looks a little like this. So we're going to set everything up with that, but I'm going to put this hair back so it doesn't get in the way. So let's get going. So we're taking the Rare Beauty and we're going to apply it a little bit to the hands. Probably like a dime size shape, and then just go and dab it all over my face because I want to get a good coverage. And then we're gonna let that set for like about 30 seconds, and I have little hairs getting in the way now. Great, baby hairs. So let that set, and then we're moving on to the next step. So usually after I let my primer set, I like to go in with my brows. So we're gonna be using the Tres Luce Beauty Hello Brows pencil, and it is in black. It's my first time trying it. I usually don't do pencils, but most of the products I was able to find were like brow pencils. So hopefully it goes well. But I'm going to try to brush these out a little bit before I put the product on. So before I go in with the product, I'm going to use the thinner side of the translucent brow pencil, which is like this, because you have a thick side and then you have the thin side. Since I have sort of thick brows, I'm going to go in with the thick just to fill it in, and then let's go. Alright, I'm not used to brow pencils. I like my little gimme brows or my NYX, you know, brow gel, whatever. But I'm just going in lightly, and then I'm just like brushing it out with this because I am not used to brow pencils. So I don't know if you can see like the difference. I kind of see a difference. But I'm just going to finish off this side, and then we're going to move on to the next step. Alright, I have my brows done. I feel like I don't know if I overdid it or not. Again, I'm not used to brow pencils. But I'm going to clean off any little excess right now. But I'm also going to try to set them with the Rare Beauty Brow Harmony Flexible Lifting Gel. I know people like to use this before, but I like to use it a little bit after because I don't apply too much brow gel. It's just to have them stay in place for the next steps. But this is what it looks like. It looks similar to the mascara, but this is the brow gel, so let's just add that on top. Alright, so I'm letting that dry. I kind of finished it off camera because I don't feel comfortable doing it on camera because I want to be able to concentrate and be able to get those little pesky hairs. But now I'm going to move on to my eyes, and I'm going to set my eyes with the Always an Optimist Weightless Eye Primer from Rare Beauty because this is the primer I was able to find. So let's see if I can open it up because I want to go in with the next product after that. And then here is the eye primer. And let's just go to that right now. So I like to go in like just dabbing things first and then working it out, like blending it with my finger, because I feel like it's a work in progress. I don't want to keep using the spoolie that comes with it because I don't want to get it dirty with other stuff. And at the same time, it's like that way you can build it to your liking, so you can have the easy, ready access to go when you do go in with the eye look. But for the eyes, I thought to switch things up a little bit. For the eyes, at first I thought maybe go with a pop. But at the same time, I also want to keep that casual look today. So I'm actually going to use the Dominique Cosmetics Essential Palette, which is the one right here. I've done swatches of it before. But in case you haven't seen my swatch videos, here it is. So we're going to create like a nice little natural look. I'm just letting the primer set a little bit for a few seconds, probably like 30 seconds. And then we're going to go in with this palette. So I'm actually thinking of using at least Compassion and Pretty Kind from this palette, just to keep things pretty natural, you know, like the crease and then the lid. So let's go in. So I'm just making sure I get enough product onto my brush and blending it perfectly on my crease. Just want to get that nice little application, but we're going to keep going in. So I'm going to start this eye now, but what I did was I threw a little bit of Mayamo, which is like the kind of like a pinkish, just on top of the Compassion on my crease and kind of like blended it in also, just to give like that little extra pop so you won't see like still some of the whiteness from the primer. So I'm just blending in Compassion into my crease, and then I'll move on to the add Mayamo on top, and then we'll move on to the lid. I feel like this is a trust the process type of thing right now because I'm usually not comfortable doing tutorials. So it's just a little step to step out of my comfort zone. Sorry, it's just a little thing to step out of my comfort zone and expand a little bit. But some people usually have asked me what I've done, so it's a little way to share it with you, beauties. But I'm still getting comfortable with that part of this. But let's just finish this off, and then we'll move on to the lid. So I'm moving on to the lid, and I will be using, sorry, I'm just wiping off the swatches that I did. But I'm going to be using Pretty Kind. I feel like it gives it like a nice pop for the, because I did this, like Compassion on the crease and a little bit of Mayamo on top of it. So Pretty Kind, I feel like it's a nice little pop just to give it. It's a nice little shimmer. So let's go through that. So I'm just making sure I get enough product onto the brush, and then I'm just gently going to pat it onto the lid to make sure I get enough shimmer. So here we have it on this eye, and I have to go through this eye, but you see that pop. It keeps like a nice natural look because I do have like little light top today. So let's move on to the next eye, and then we'll move on to eyeliner so we could keep moving on with this look. We have the eyes already done with the shadow at least. Let me just add the little on that little corner because I feel like it was still a little light. But I like to use like the flat little brushes for my lid because that way you could work around it and not necessarily mess up the crease. But now we're gonna move on to eyeliner. So this is the final look with the shadows. Again, trust the process because that's how I feel like it right now. Trust the process. So I have two options of eyeliner. I have a Glam Light eyeliner from the Barbie collection, which is also a black liner. And then we have the Flawless Beauty liquid black eyeliner pencil. Well, not pencil, liquid eyeliner pen. But I think I might use the Glam Light, and then if I need it in retouches, I'll probably retouch it with this one. Because right now I feel like it's probably easier for me to maneuver when it has a wand rather than a pen. Although I could use both, but I might use the wand. And then the pen, no, let's just do quick little swatches of them. So that way we can define which one I'm going to use, because this is the Glam Light. Because sometimes it's easier for me to work with this, especially when I'm trying to create like a wing or something. Look at that, that's Glam Light. And then here is Prados. That's a pretty good pen. Oh, wait a minute. I feel like they're both pretty good strong, but I feel like Prados might be like a stronger black. But yeah, we're gonna start off with this and then I'll go over with that. Because sometimes I like to set things off with this. It's easier to work with rather than, because I'm afraid sometimes of goofing up with the pen. And then once I have the line, then I'll go over it with the pen. Alright, I did the Glam Light liner. As you can see, I kind of had a little stumble here, but I'm going to clean that up and fix it. But it doesn't look too bad. I will say it does dry up pretty quick. I will give you the heads up. It does dry up pretty quick. So proceed with caution and make sure those lines work out. And I cannot find my little brush that I'm looking for, but I'm going to go a little over with the Prados one just to have a little extra pop, especially on the outer corners. So I just added on top the Prados liquid eyeliner. I will say, if you love doing a nice cat eye, I think this is a good liner to consider. So I just added a little bit of extra liner with that. Going on to the next step, which will be, if I can remember where I left the box. Alright, I just hit a problem because I cannot find my concealer, and I know I have one. Well, some unfortunate news, I can't find a concealer, so I guess I'm gonna have to continue with the next step. Possibly skip concealer or either use a different one, but if I use a different one, it's not going with the whole theme of the video. So I'm just going to move on to the next step, and it's going to be foundation, and I'll be using the Liquid Touch Weightless Foundation from Rare Beauty and 270N. So this is what I'm going to be using. We already have the face primed, ready to go. So let's just move on to that because I can't find my concealer. This is the first time I've used this foundation, so I hope it's like a good match. I'm a little disappointed that I can't find the concealer because, like I said, I had everything planned out. I had everything together. So it's a little disappointing that I can't find the concealer. So let's just see the foundation and get things going because this is the first time I used it. And ooh. Alright, first impressions, because this is the first time I am using this foundation, I will say it doesn't feel heavy. Even though the lighting isn't the greatest right now in my room, but it does feel like a real match. It does, and I kind of like that. It doesn't look heavy either, even on camera. I have a little ring light on, but it doesn't look heavy. It doesn't look like too light or too dark. I'm kind of liking that. But let me finish this off because I want to get a little bit on my neck. And it doesn't seem too off, like, seems like a pretty good match. But yeah, let me finish this off. Add a little bit extra here because I need to cover up those dark circles since I don't have concealer. Alright, now that the foundation is set, I'm going to move on to the next step. And I'm actually going to use the Alamar Cosmetics Hydrating Complexion Trio. This is like the bronzer set. We're not going to add a little bronzer. So I'm actually going to use probably Always Summer. Also, that I'm in between, but I might go with Always Summer just to add a little pop. Let me look for my bronzer brush, and then we're gonna move on to the step because now the foundation, I can't even talk. Now the foundation is set, so let's just add a little bronzer and make this look pop a little more. I usually take whatever's left on the brush and just like dab it underneath. I'm not dipping it back in, but I went with Soltera, and I feel like it was the right choice. So again, this is the Alamar Cosmetics Complexion Trio that has the bronzer and everything. I went with Soltera, the one right in the middle, and I'm loving it so far. So we're gonna move on to the next step, which is blush, and I'm gonna be using the Colorete Blush Trio from Alamar Cosmetics. I've used this before, so this time I'm actually gonna go with Dulces Sueños, the one right here at the end. We're gonna go with that, and then continue with this look. Alright, so I have the blush set. My hair is getting a little messed up, even though I still have to do that afterwards. But right now, we're going to move on to a little bit of highlighter. I don't usually do too much highlighter. I'm trying to look for my brush. But we're going to use the Beauty Creations and Yvette collab, which is the Snatch Me Face Palette. But I'm actually going to use the one that's right over here. Just add a little bit. So let's do that. So the shade is Always Classy. So let's just go through with that right now. You see that glow? That's nice. I'm not much for too much highlighter, but it looks pretty good, I will say. Not too bad. So let's move on. So next up, we're moving on to lashes. I'm going to be using my traditional Tarte glue because I didn't have time to get the glue that I wanted, which was Latina owned, in time for this video. But we're going to move on to use Prados, which is not just Latina owned, it's also indigenous owned. But we're going to be using these lashes, and this is called Shore. And we're gonna see how they look. So I'm forgetting one huge step here because before we move on, I have to curl my lashes because I am going to be using, just to add a little bit of base here before I put on my lashes, I'm going to be using the Tres Luce Beauty mascara, the Illusion mascara. I've done a video on this before, but let's just add a little coat because I want it to help with the lashes a little bit, and so my natural lashes don't interfere with the lashes I'm about to put on, but just a little bit of coat. And to get things going, let that set. Not too much because I'm putting lashes on top, which I'm having currently dry right in my hand. So here's the first lash from Prados Beauty. I will say I like how it looks. It's a natural fit for me because I didn't have to cut anything off, and I love how like it gives me like the perfect look. Just making sure because I kind of squinted my eye a little, so I just wanted to make sure I didn't get any mascara underneath. But so far so good. And now let's do this one. So to do the lip, we're gonna be using a combination of Glam Light Cosmetics Frosted Flakes Lip Liner, Tres Luce Beauty Empower Me Lipstick in Dark Cafecito, and topping things off with the Alamar Cosmetics Las Desnudas lip gloss in Dulce.
And I'll be having more in-depth look on the lip look on a separate lip combo of the day video, which you'll be able to see here on my social media channels as well.
So one last step, and it's to set everything all together using the Glam Light Cosmetics Rick and Morty collab setting spray. So we're gonna set it all, and then that ends this whole look. So as that sets and is finishing setting up, that completes this look using all Latina owned brands. I hope you beauties enjoyed this video, and I'll be seeing you beauties real soon.